Okay, where do I begin? Anyways, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Amazing Adventures of TehKaleRemixer, Season 5, Episode 2. In the last episode, you guys need to ignore the fucking background noise, so I need to reduce it for a reason. So anyways, we're going to watch Let Me Explain Studios for an enjoyment. So, anyways, let's begin. Let's start with Daycare Stories by Let Me Explain Studios. Okay, let's begin, guys. Let's do this shit!
Oh, hello, my geeks and peeps, my explainers and entertainers, my little oodle-lollies. Rebecca Parham here. So, did you know I was a daycare kid? Probably not, because I've never mentioned it before. Makes sense, given that mom and dad were both working parents, and leaving one's infant at home alone is generally considered problematic. Now, I know it might be hard to believe, but I haven't always been the pinnacle of refinement and maturity that you see before you today. No. As a kid, I was a bit of a rascal. For example, the box story. Now at this daycare we had a big playroom, and in this playroom there was a dark little alcove where custodial stuff and equipment was kept all the time, and one morning during playtime I noticed someone had left a large box there. Big enough for a child to hide behind. Now there's a concept that I call kid logic, and it's basically just a name for that randomness that kids possess, or the absurdity that is.
Also, like I said, YouTube, if you're watching this, please do not interrupt the stream or take this down.
Their reasoning sometimes. For example, when I saw that box, that's when my kid logic kicked in, and I said, I'm gonna hide behind that box for as long as possible and see what happens. This is a great idea. So when the adults weren't looking, I slunk behind the box and crouched down, hiding myself entirely. I must have stayed there for half an hour before playtime ended, and they ushered all the kids away to a different room for a new activity. And funny enough, the adults were none the wiser I was gone. I've beat the system. Now this is what gets me. It took an hour of me hiding before an adult came back to the room and visibly began looking around for something. Couldn't imagine what it might be. Now where did I leave that small child? Must be around here someplace. I peeked my head up over the edge of the box to watch, but that proved to be my undoing. I was spotted. I've been compromised. I got in big trouble for that, of course. I was clearly not good at getting away with things when I was a kid, as you'll see in the next story. Now, one time at this daycare, they brought in a whiteboard, and you were only allowed to draw on it with adult supervision. Okay, I won't draw on the board. Instead, I stole a green dry erase marker when no one was looking and proceeded to decorate my face. Hey, listen, I didn't break the rules. They specifically said don't draw on the board. They said nothing about my face. I put the marker back and walked away, but was promptly spotted by an adult. Becca, did you do this to yourself? No. Did somebody do this to you? Yes. Who did it? Well, sheesh, I hadn't thought I had that far. And I honestly didn't even think to blame another kid. Instead, that good old kid logic kicked in, and I came up with the most foolproof story that was sure to get my hide out of trouble. I was minding my own business looking for something to play with, and then the markers came over and marked on my face. Nailed it. I will never understand how that daycare worker kept a straight face, but off to timeout I went. So, what are you in for? Disrupting the status quo? Whoa, I stuck gum up my nose. Something I haven't mentioned yet is that my sister Rachel also went to this daycare, and because she's 2 years older than me, she got to be in the big kids program called the Superstars, and I was so jealous that I took to calling them the Stupid Stars. Extra crispy on that burn there, little Becca. But one thing that will always be a significant memory to me is the day I discovered that the Superstars had a Nintendo. Better yet, they had Super Mario Brothers. And that, my little oodle-ollies, was the first time I ever saw a console video game. I thought I was looking at magic. And that became the only thing I ever wanted to do at playtime, was go over to the big kid area and watch them play Super Mario Brothers. Don't you dare tell me that gamers aren't real entertainers. I was watching people play video games long before the Appliers and Septiceyes and D-Pies of the world made it a thing. But when playtime was over, the daycare staff had to pry me away, kicking and screaming from that TV set. One day, however, I came up with a brilliant idea. When they pulled me away from the big kids' corner and sat me down with the other little kids, I proceeded to scream and cry that I miss my big sister, and nothing was gonna console me except being allowed to be with her in the big kid area. I guess the adults didn't know what else to do, so they actually let me go back over.
Holy Crayola, that actually worked.
Sure enough, I made a beeline for the Nintendo. Screw you, sis, I got video games to observe. It didn't take long for an adult to catch on, and I was eventually pulled away again. When I tried the same shtick, they gently said,
Becca, you say you miss your sister, but every time you go over there, you just watch them play video games.
Okay, maybe they had me there. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty solid accusation.
All right, grown-up, I'll concede to you this time. But one day, I'll be grown-up, and I'll watch all the video games I want.
Don't you mean play them?
No.
Now I've saved the best story for last. Even when I started kindergarten, there was no escaping this daycare, because one of the services they provided was picking up children from my elementary school and taking them back to the daycare where the parents could pick them up later. So every day I didn't get picked up by a parent or get on a normal yellow school bus, I waited for a big white van. That sounds rather nefarious now that I say it out loud. But yeah, Rachel and I would wait for the van, pile in with the other kids, and go wait to get picked up at the daycare. And this was a routine my kindergarten teacher knew. She was a very good teacher and kept track of the way each of her students were supposed to go home. So she would make sure I got in that van. Well, I was getting a little bored of the routine. And here's good old kid logic again, because many of my classmates would get to walk home. And for some reason, I decided that was the cool thing to do. I aspired to walk home. But that wasn't gonna happen with Miss Responsibility Pants botching my whole operation. So like the little devil I was, I waited until we had a substitute teacher. Alright, here's your evil genius learner's permit, kiddo. When school ended that day, instead of getting into the daycare van, I hid behind a brick pillar and waited for the van to leave without me. Funny how my sister never said anything. She must have been like, alright, I guess she died. As soon as the van left, I headed off on foot. My house was within walking distance, only about a mile away, but I began to think as I walked that no one was actually going to be at the house, and I had no way of getting inside. Probably should have thought of that before. So instead of walking home, I made the executive decision to walk to the daycare instead. Now, I knew what I was doing was against the rules, because every single time I saw a white vehicle of any sort coming in the distance, I would duck behind a tree or bush as fast as I could. When I was so close that I could see the daycare up ahead, I noticed what was most definitely a white van approaching, and the only tree immediately available was thinner than me. So not only was this tree already insufficient at hiding me, but when I jumped behind it, I didn't think to put the tree between me and the line of sight of the van. So when the daycare staff approached, this is what they saw. I'm revoking that evil genius learner's permit. They stopped the van, made me get inside, and guess who I found in the back seat? The snitch that ratted me out. My own sister.
How could you? We were brothers, you and I. Wait.
And that is just a handful of examples of what a little monster I was. I talked to my sister about this script and she came up with even more stories about this daycare, so if you guys like this video, then maybe there'll be another one in the future, who knows. Alright, have fun out there, oodalollies, and avoid white vans. Thank you so much for tuning in, but now I gotta tune out. Bye! I once tricked my teacher into giving me the easiest report ever, and not only did I get away with it, it was a smash hit. Back in middle school, my history teacher told us we were going to do a project on US presidents. We each had to pick a president, write a report on him, and then get up in front of the class and essentially be the president in a fake interview. What's that you say? Giving the theater kid an excuse to put on a show? Why, don't mind if I do. The teacher went down the roster asking each of us which president we wanted, but before she got to me, I had gotten a scathingly brilliant idea. You see, I was an Animaniacs kid. And as many of you know, the Animaniacs did a brilliant song naming all of the presidents in order, but there was one particular lyric that was running through my head at that moment. William Harrison, how do you praise that guy was dead in 30 days? A report on that guy would probably be pretty easy. But the teacher would never let me pick him. Right? Rebecca, which president do you want? William Harrison? All right, very good. Wow, crime is easy. Quick history lesson, William Harrison was the 9th president of the United States and died just 32 days after his inauguration. For a while, history believed it was because the dude gave a 2-hour inauguration speech in the freezing rain and caught himself pneumonia. However, modern historians figured out it's most likely because the White House back then was downstream of public sewage. Kinda nice to know that there was a time the public got to crap on the government and not the other way around. Well, so sad for President Harrison, but very good for me. Made my report super easy. I also had the best gimmick for the interview skit. I dressed up in a nightshirt and cap and painted my face to look very sick. I coughed and sneezed and wheezed through the whole thing and answered almost every question the same.
So, what contributions did you make during your presidency?
Nothing. I died. And on the very last question of the interview, well, my dear, I believe the secret to a perfect democracy is... The whole classroom erupted in hysterical laughter, so much so that the teacher had a little trouble settling everyone down. I'm sure at some point she realized I'd pulled a fast one on her, but I think she also respected the hustle because I got an A+. Sometimes to get the good grade, you just gotta put on a good show. It's the season of mushrooms in the Witch of the Wood shop with mushroom-themed everything, like this stylish shirt, these beautiful patches, and a big old messenger bag for your mushroom collecting needs. Link to the shop in the description below.
Sorry about that. I was literally eating during the storytime video, and it will be a next one soon. I promise. Yes, because of a freaking quote unquote copyright content. Just read description. Okay, as I was saying, read the description for reasons. Should I watch Pal's story time videos? Silly Pal. Alright, let's watch okay, let's watch Silly Pal. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was getting a bit yeah, because despite me coughing like every single day, that is a battle. And yeah, I'm slightly better from a cold, but don't worry, I'll be better in the next episode. Anyways, we're gonna watch Silly Pal. Let's go.
The holiday season, a time of hope, magic, joy, and seasonal depression. It's that time of year when everyone tries their best to feel something good, but sometimes joy is hard to find, especially when you don't exactly fit into the norm. If you're neurodivergent, LGBT, or just built silly or weird, sometimes the things that make you happy don't look like everyone else's. They might be tiny, silly, or completely ridiculous, but they're special. And today, Nurse Pal is here to examine those joys. I also asked a couple of YouTuber friends to share their odd joys with me too.
Hello, it's me, Tai Bizabazao from Bizabazao. Hello, I'm Owie Brainhurts.
For me, joy can come from the smallest things, like putting my headphones on, going on a walk, exploring where I live while listening to music and imagining I'm in an animated music video. That's where most of my ideas come from. I naturally do a lot of stimming and I never realized it until someone points it out. Clapping, flapping hands, and sudden bursts of energy that sent me dancing around my room like a character who just leveled up. Since I used to be a shut-in, reconnecting with my family has been really nice. The downside? Now, every time I see anything even slightly interesting, I have to jump out of my seat and put down for hours to anyone who listened. No survivors. Oversized hoodies. Sharing a single brain cell with your best friend and saying the exact same thing at the same time. Eating your comfort food right as your favorite YouTuber uploads. The sound design that some video games have is so good. The sound effects just tingle something inside my brain. When I decided to ask Ty vis-a-vis out, she had lots to say about her cat Maple. Just like I did in my last video about my cat Purple. Cats truly are the meaning of happiness.
So I have a lovely, lovely cat. Her name's Maple. And something I find myself doing a lot is playing with her paws like they're fidget toys. Something about the way a cat paw is built creates such perfect tactile stimulation for my brain. And obviously, everyone loves a good toe bean, right? They're super squishy and smooth to the touch. A+ cat design. However, the most underrated part of a cat's paw, in my opinion, are the smooth, bumpy ridges on the back formed by the toe bones. If there's someone out there watching this that specializes in making little trinkets and doohickeys, I need you to invent a fidget toy that accurately and synthetically mimics the feel and shape of a cat paw. I'm being 100% serious. I would buy multiple of those from you if you did. They could come in various sizes and colors, various degrees of toughness. Listen, it's genius. Do it for all the poor kitties out there that have their paws messed with every day. Maple will thank you. Thank you, Silly Pal, for inviting me to do some silly ramblings for you. By the way, no maples were harmed in the making of this segment. I gave her some treats and some brushies after writing this. Here's a video of her getting brushed. Look at her. She loves it.
Trying something new might take some courage, but finding new things to enjoy can change your life. My therapist taught me that sometimes autistic people don't want to experience new media, not out of stubbornness, but because we don't know how it will make us feel, and we prefer the comfort of what we already love.
I really relate to what Powell was saying about finding it tricky to try new things as an autistic person. I can find it really hard to pick up something that is unfamiliar, but this year I discovered the video game series Katamari Damacy and fell completely in love with it. It's such a whimsical little franchise. The music is fantastic and it's brought me so much joy. I think there's a lot to be said about everyday joys, little things that might be easy to take for granted. For example, I like to enjoy looking at the silly ways my cat falls asleep. I love eating a sweet treat or having a perfectly brewed cup of tea. The UK is pretty grey in the wintertime, so it feels like a treat when there's a bright and sunny day. I've been trying to think of bigger joys I've experienced recently, and one that stands out to me was getting to catch up with an online friend who I met once upon a time on a Minecraft server. I hadn't spoken to them in a while, and since I'd last spoken to them, they had started taking testosterone. They were feeling such gender affirmation, and it just made me smile so much to hear. I guess other people's joy can give joy too.
There's probably a billion different types of joys out there. So tell me in the comments, what are your little joys? As always, thanks for watching Sleepyheads. And thank you so much for such a wonderful year. Let's make the best of the next one, okay? Stay cozy. Good nighty.
Night, bitch. Okay. Next. Oh shit, we got happiness as a cat. Yeah. Let's go.
I live alongside a cozy little ball of fluff named Burbu. Though honestly, I like to think of her more as my roommate. A small, round roommate who keeps me company while I game or work. She stands on my desk like she owns the place, meows at me for hugs, hides in my closet to snuggle up with my bulwark blanket, and somehow manages to fill every single day with warmth and love. It's about time I made a video about her. Even though she's part of my everyday life, I always say I'll never get used to her, because every time she's by my side, it feels like rediscovering what joy really means. Burbu is short for burbuja, which means bubble in Spanish, and for 10 years now,
Burbuja. Burbuja. I know exactly.
she's somehow stayed perfectly round, just like her name. We adopted her when me and my sister were little. I still remember walking into the shelter and being handed this tiny trembling kitten. I almost started crying because I could feel her tiny little purse against my chest. Even now, she still loves to hug. Bird was a very particular cat. All her life, she's only been interested in kibble, but for some reason, she's weirdly obsessed with 3 things: peanut butter, nacho cheese, and the antidepressants. She's tried to lick them before, so now we keep it out of reach. She's smart and knows when something isn't for her. The only exceptions we make are when we make tuna sandwiches. Every time me or my mom make one, the second she hears a can opening, she comes running from wherever she was, all excited for not the tuna, but the little leftover heels that's left behind. For some reason, she won't touch anything solid, just the tuna juice. That's it. It's a weird little treat. People always say Burbu and I are alike. Sleepy, needy, and a little silly. The outside world terrifies her and she hides from strangers. Just like me, for real. She actually tried to make a friend once with a dog. A friend stayed over with her dog, and Burbu, out of pure curiosity, tried to play with her, jumping, chasing, doing her little bouncy cat moves. But the dog, not having it. She got nervous, barked at Burbu, and scared her away. But Burbu, she's always wanted a friend. At least she has her favorite toys, pipe cleaners. She'll drag them around, toss them in the air, chase them across the floor like she's on a mission. She's so surprisingly gentle. One time, she accidentally stepped on a spider with her tiny paws, froze for a second, realized what happened, and sort of apologized to it. Like she crouched down beside it with this guilty little look. She's too sweet for this world. She's especially close to my sister. She waves her little paws for attention, meows until she's noticed, and then licks my sister's face all over like a puppy. It's so cute. She also loves anything that smells like us. My headphones, my sister's Crocs, my mom's jacket. She'll headbutt them, lick them, and then sit on top proudly like, yes, this is mine now. Having a cat really makes you appreciate the simple things in life. I love the way cats see the world. Every day starts in a sunny spot with a long stretch and a quiet purr. Blankets are clouds, naps are endless, gentle hands mean safety. There's always something small to enjoy, and when the world finally gets quiet again, it's enough just to rest, wrapped in warmth and a feeling of being loved. There's nothing more special than holding a soft, warm, purring cat that loves you back. Everyone should get to feel that at least once in their life. Burbu is one of my sisters. I just pray she stays with us for a long, long time. She's such a joy in our lives. And honestly, who wouldn't want a soft, cuddly ball of fur to keep them company every day? Thanks for watching, Sleepyheads. Hug your loved ones. Stay cozy. Good nighty.
Hold on, I'm out of ideas. I'm out of ideas. Okay. You just did it again. Oh, I'm so. Oh no. I just don't give a fuck. Can't wait for the drawing. Can't wait for the best duo. Can't wait for the best duo. Ooh. Whoa! Yes. All right. My people, fam, that is so much better. How to not be an adult? What in the world? PAL Autism Edition. Oh. Excuse me. Once again. Okay, another one. Next!
Well, I'm about to turn 20 years old. Yay! Which means I've lost all my teen years and I'm a proper adult. Some people will say otherwise, but what can I say? For this occasion, I wanted to challenge if I truly act like an adult, because we all know the answer is no. Writing this video, I quickly realized, wait, this is such an easy video to make. My doctor called me the definition of an autistic person. Of course, everything I do is not something a typical adult will do. I'll be going down a list of things every adult should be able to do, and how powertism has a twist for it all. Powertism? Powertism? Powertism! I should make a podcast on neurodivergence and call it Powertism. This video's premise turned out to be the same as a series of videos originally made by the other ones out and subsequently copied by TehKaleRemixer. Seeing as I've already followed the internet tradition that is plagiarizing their video ideas, I decided to do it again. Things I do that adults probably don't do. Plagiarize times 2 Power Edition. TehKaleRemixer sits mature criteria of what makes you an adult and what doesn't. So let's see if I fit the requirements.
Some of the requirements to being an adult are don't be a jerk,
I'm pretty sure that I'm not a jerk.
check your ego,
I don't think I've ever had much of an ego, ever.
call people back.
If I find out that I missed a call from someone I know, I will cry. If it's someone I don't know, I'll be very relieved I wasn't there when my phone rang. Crazy how I'm another achieving need. You're more of an adult than most Twitter users nowadays. Actually, one of the items on the list is use social media in a responsible way. Just in case, I pledge the fifth. Respond rationally to change. I dislike change so badly that I still sleep with the same tiny pillow my head rested on as a baby 2 decades ago. Maybe the pillow is the reason I sleep all day. Develop connections with others. This is like asking a mouse to defeat Zelda payoff with its bare paws. It's so hard for me to talk to anyone, and I tend to keep my distance and hide out of fear that I'll be startled or forced into an awkward moment. Me. Weak people are so scary. Also me. A lot of these seem to be about coexisting with fellow adults, but I think I've definitely proven that it's never too late to let go of your hikikomori ways. The question is, to what extent? Maybe I'm actually the best at it, but no one gets to see it. Only the people I know personally will be able to tell.
No, you're not, pal.
Oh, okay. Resolving conflict. My big sister once took me to the movie theater, and we decided to treat ourselves to a soda and some popcorn. But if you've gone to one of these places, you know these things cost a pretty penny. Especially the large refill cups that you can use in the big soda machines with 100 different flavors. Which is why when mid-movie we realized the cup given to us was torn, constantly leaking and spilled over us twice, we were upset. On our way to the exit, we were struggling with transporting the fragile cup. I noticed all the staff had left as it had gotten pretty late, so no one would be around to see if I did something I wasn't supposed to. I don't know what came over me, but I just looked at Alice, nodded, started crouching, went behind the counter, reached for a large cup, and crouched my way out, completing a successful cup heist. Alice was in such disbelief as they watched me doing the most out of character thing ever. I'm like, yeah, why would I do such a thing? My only way to explain such an impulsive decision is that I acted like a Pokemon with max friendship that can activate a little friendship card that helps them achieve oddly impossible feats. I can be a mischievous little gremlin sometimes. We left with a full cup of yummy soda, and that's my way of resolving conflict. Cooking. I don't cook. I always end up burning something down, and most of the time it's because I simply didn't realize my takeout was covered in aluminum when I put it in the microwave. Eating healthy and not like a child. My diet tends to consist of one daily bowl of rice with ketchup on top, sometimes a cookie. Taking care of yourself. Saving money and having responsible spending habits. I'm not an overspender. I grew up really taking care of my money. Heck, I never ever grabbed the customary bread at restaurant tables because I always thought, oh gosh, what if it has an additional cost? Probably not, even though I'd still feel bad about it. I do, however, have a bad habit of spending my money on things that don't actually matter. I'll be really iffy about spending my money on things as simple as food. But what's that? A bowl of Nintendo was announced today, and suddenly my bank account is empty. On an unrelated note, there's no way the Cosmo company didn't specifically make this for me. Saving for retirement. Does collecting a ton of plushies that will accompany your grandma days count as saving for retirement? No. How do I get money? Identifying your strengths. When it comes to computers, I've got this magical ability to tackle anything and turn it into something totally amazing. I mean, that's gotta count for something, right? Computers? Super cool. Me? Even cooler. And finally, creating a routine. You might wonder how, despite my disabilities and not always taking the best care of myself, I managed to do what I do. Well, it's definitely a kind of routine. More than a routine, I think it's really important to understand how you function. As someone with both autism and ADHD, which often feels like a punishment from the universe, I've realized I won't get far trying to fit into rigid schedules. When I started making videos and experimenting with different footage styles, I discovered that my creative process is much more enjoyable when I'm doing something new every day. One day, I might revisit the idea of making a video game and incorporate it into my videos. The next, modifying an existing game just for fun. And the one after that, using something as silly as Club Penguin as a tool to build upon other segments of my story. The best form of creativity is turning your work into an opportunity to try something new every day, no matter how silly it may be. And when I'm not doing this, I can always rely on some good old-fashioned animating while I watch a YouTube video on the side. Thanks for watching, sleepyheads. Take care. Stay cozy. And as always, good nighty.
Alright, y'all. Shoot it though. I'm about to shoot it though. I'm about to shoot it though. I'm about to shoot it though. Oh no, shoot it though. I'm about to shoot it though. I'm about to shoot it though. I'm about to shoot it though. Shoot it though. I'm about to shoot it though. Shoot it though. The odd ones out? Oh yeah. I just scored a whole one. Woo! I need to watch odd ones out. Yeah, I need to watch my odd ones. I'd love to invite you guys, but I cannot send the link right now. But this is gonna be a solo stream. But yeah, maybe sometime in the future. I don't know, maybe in the next episode. Sorry. Okay, next one. The odds one out. Odd ones out, yes. I forgot. Alright, anyways. It's been a while since I last watched the odd ones out. I first discovered them back in 2017.
Hey, England! For the entirety of this video, I'm going to be calling this sport football and this sport soccer, okay? Well, blimey, mate, we got a cheeky bugger here. We do. Well, pip pop cheerio, hope a stiffy wanks your knockers. God save the queen. What did I just say? So, the theme of this video, sports. Either you love them or you hate them. Or you have some other third opinion. Growing up, my family was never big on sports. We never watched any games on the telly. I'm sorry, I still got some British in me. And me and my dad never went out and played catch. He also never taught me how to shave. He was gone a lot. He always talked about Heather. Okay, but I did play soccer for a couple years when I was like 7. I was on the green team. Sports at that age aren't even like sports. It's just parents wanting you to go outside more. Being a goalie on a soccer team when you're that age is super stressful. The whole team is counting on you. Even stopping a ball that's gently rolled towards you is difficult. One time, the other team we were playing was so sucky that all the players spent the whole game on their half of the field. And I was the goalie for my team, and I remember just sitting down and picking at the grass. Soccer was the only sport that I've been on a team for. Well, I mean, I'm not counting the track team that I was on for only 2 days. There was this kid I mentioned a long time ago in my Boy Scout video named Micah. Now, he was a soccer fanatic. I wonder what he's doing. Okay, England, we have this holiday called Thanksgiving. We celebrate it because it's when we left your lame country. Don't ask what we did next. So on Thanksgiving, for some reason, it's a tradition to play football before you go and eat food. So while the ladies stay inside and cook the meal, the men go outside and throw the pigskin around. I'm just kidding, you guys. I'm not a sexist. But I mean, that is what happens. So one time during Thanksgiving, I was a little kid, like 11 or 12, and I was playing football with my dad and his other 40-year-old friends. So me being the littlest, I wasn't particularly the best player. But while we were playing, I freaking caught the ball. I caught it! And then I just started booking it across the field. field. I've probably never ran so quickly in my entire life. And I actually made it. I scored a home run. Woo! And that, to me, was such a pivotal point in my life. I felt so accomplished. Me, a little kid, scored a goal against a bunch of adults. I would think back to it if I was ever feeling sad. Like, oh, I failed this math test, but one time I scored a basket against a bunch of adults when I was 12. But I remember I was a senior in high school, and I was just driving, and then the thought came to me, they probably let me score that touchdown. They were going easy on me. Man, growing up sucks. I was never all that competitive as a child. Well, okay, I was never competitive when it came to sports. It's just a game, guys. We're supposed to have fun. Winning's not that important. Sports are good at that age, though. They promote physical activity, you can make friends, you might like the sport and want to pursue it more, and it's not a big deal if you suck. I'm totally making my future kid play a sport. That is, if I have kids. What if I die alone? People make the comparison that some people watch gaming channels for the same reason that others watch sports. You're watching someone play a video game? Why do you watch someone play when you can just go to the computer and play it yourself? Now replace the word video game with sport and outside with computer, and it's the same thing. Loading Artist made a very good comic about the point I'm trying to make. I'll just read it. What are you doing? Watching this guy play a game. It's pretty funny. Wait, so you aren't even playing? Yeesh, what a waste of time. And then he goes and watches a sports game. Man, Loading Artist is so much cooler than me. I've said this before, but he was such a big inspiration to me when I was first starting out. I just wanted to say that again. Go read all of his comics right now. I just want to say it's fine if you watch sports. Granted, I won't watch them with you because they're incredibly boring. You want to know why gaming channels work? It's because they play different games. Even Captain Sparkles, who mostly plays Minecraft and also who I love, by the way. And I did buy a t-shirt to prove my point, but it's still in the mail. See, look, I bought a t-shirt and I bought sunglasses right here. So I just want to give a big shout out to themakershop.com, who's taking a million years to ship me my Captain Sparkles shirt. It was going to be so cool. I was going to say, I bought a t-shirt to prove my point. And then I was going to flick the sunglasses that I also bought down. Notice me, senpai. This email says it's going to take 3 to 7 business days to ship. Well, yesterday was the 13th business day. So what is it, Jordan? 7 or 13? So I bought this just so I have something physical to show my love for Captain Sparkles. I've been watching all of his videos since TNT. Oh, he's changed it. But the point is, he changes around the format and the rules of his Let's Plays with all the different maps he plays. It's different for every video, even his role-playing ones, which I'm still waiting for part 5 to come out. Like, imagine if there was a gaming channel that only played the first Super Mario game. It might be fun to watch at first, especially if they're good at playing the game, and it might be fun to watch how other people play it and see what they do. But for 50 years? Don't you think that would get a little boring after a while? I mean, only so much can happen, and that's what I think sports is like sometimes. It's the same game, same rules, over and over and over. Like, spice some things up once in a while. What if for basketball, there were like mystery boxes like in Mario Kart, and you could grab them and that would give you an advantage? How about if a team is losing, they get some wacky, hilarious handicap depending on how far behind they are, so it's not hopeless for them? But James, sports is supposed to measure your talent. Whatever. It gets boring to watch. I can understand if the teams are neck and neck and it comes down to one final play like what it does in every sports movie. That's why they have to use that plot device in all the sports movies to make it interesting. But a lot of times, sports aren't like that. Like if one team is leading by 50 points, why even bother watching the last 5 minutes of the game? I would rather watch any Air Bud movie than a sports game because stuff actually happens in those movies and they're different each time. And there's a dog wearing shoes in it. I just want to say for the record, if my kid grew up to be a professional athlete, then I'll watch sports. But only the games that they play in, and only the games that are interesting. Why is it socially acceptable to know everything about sports and dress up, but it isn't acceptable to dress up in fursuits and go to cons? You see, I don't think it's acceptable to do either of those things. You're both weird. But don't let me stop you. You do you. Follow your dreams. Okay, let's talk about some stories. In grade school, I was put in the honor classes for my academic achievement, which did not help me whatsoever. It probably hurt me when I went to college. But that's not what we're talking about. Anyway, so during recess, the whole class would play kickball. Kickball is a fun sport. Anyone can play it, but it takes a pro to be good at it. What? There was this girl in my class who was the best kickball player, and then later, when she grew up, she became the valedictorian of my high school and went to Harvard. I'm proud of her. Also, my ginger friend Nick Jiggly, who I've mentioned before, he also got to speak during graduation. Actually, okay, so Nick had this thing where his hands would shake. I don't think it was Parkinson's. I actually emailed him about it, and he said, I asked a doctor and he said it's just a mild tremor. Ha. So he's probably fine. But whenever he would give a presentation in front of the class, his hands would be shaking and people would think, oh, he's nervous. But no, actually, he's the most extroverted and outgoing kid that I knew. He just had a condition. Well, that was a pretty long tangent. What are we talking about? Sports? Oh, yeah, kickball. Since everyone in the class was kind of already a nerd, I wasn't usually the last one to be picked on a team. I was usually the fourth or third to last. It's so nerve-wracking when the last five are still standing and you think, don't let me be last, don't let me be last. And then you get picked and it's like, ha! They think I'm better than you, which I'm not actually. One time I think I was like 15 or something and me and this big group of people went to a sports complex and we were having fun playing games and running around and then boom, a soccer ball just whacked me in the face. I got a bloody nose and I couldn't stand up without toppling over for a few seconds. And then I went to a bathroom, freshened up. What sucked was that it was a girl that hit me and people made jokes like, oh, you got hit by a girl. It still hurt, okay? So I sat out for a couple of minutes. I waited until I stopped seeing flashing colors. Then, like the man that I am, I went back and played some more. And not 5 minutes go by when it happened again. Different person this time. But after the second time, I was completely out. I mean, I wasn't unconscious, but I couldn't get up. I remember my brother had to carry me out on his shoulder.
Alright. Another one done. Give me a minute. And the final video I want to watch before I'm going to play the game. Excuse me.
I have a holiday mug up in my merch store. It's red and green and me in different Christmas outfits. So if you want to grab one for your holiday hot cocoa or eggnog, link will be in the description. All right, so let's talk about
I know Christmas is past, but still.
some of my strangest habits.
But that was an
or
old
maybe
video,
they're
but
not
whatever.
that strange, and they're actually way more common than I initially thought. I'll let you be the judge of that. Number 1, I sniff everything. Out of all the 5 senses, the one I probably use the most is smell. It's not even like I have a great sense of smell or anything. It's just that my first reaction to anything is to sniff it for whatever reason, especially with food. People who've eaten with me know that I always sniff my food. As in, before every single bite, I inhale deeply. I don't know, I feel like smell is like half of the tasting experience, right? Like if something smells really tasty, why wouldn't you want to breathe it all in? But of course, it doesn't just stop at food. If you hand me just about anything, the first thing I'll feel compelled to do is sniff it. One time, my friends and I discovered a chunky little slug right outside our apartment, and after petting its cold, slimy exterior, I had to go in for a sniff. Anyways, they were super grossed out, but sometimes the curiosity overwhelms you. When my hair is freshly washed, I'll do that thing where I take a bunch of it around to my face and inhale that sweet shampoo goodness. Smell also has a lot to do with my attraction to someone. Like, yeah, that guy's cute and all, but does he smell good? Listen, fellas, take notes. Smelling attractive is half the battle, alright? If your crush tells you smell good, you gotta just hoard whatever body wash or cologne you're using because it's working. My friend Moon has joked that when I die, it'll probably be because I sniffed something I wasn't supposed to. There's been too many moments like, hey Moon, what's this?
That is acetone. I use it for stripping paint and melting plastics. It's toxic though, so be careful not to sniff. Emily, what did I just say? Get that shit away from your nose right now! What is wrong with you?
Number 2, did you lock your door? I've been told if I were one of those tiny little mobile persicoms from the anime Chobits, my only function would be to ask, did you lock your door? Because I do it literally all the time. Doesn't matter who it is. If I'm riding in someone's car, the second we step out, I ask, did you lock your car? Sometimes I forget to ask until we've walked a little too far away, and they're like,
Well, I always lock my car, and I'm pretty sure that I locked my car. But you asking me that question is suddenly making me doubt whether I did. And now I have to walk all the way back just to confirm with myself that I did, in fact, lock my car.
well, good. Now you can have the peace of mind of knowing you locked your car. You're welcome.
I'm gonna kill you.
Listen, better safe than sorry, right? Sometimes I even psych myself out. I'll lock my door before I leave my apartment like I always do, walk like 50 feet, and then think to myself, wait, did I lock my door? I know I locked my door, I just did it, but what if I just imagined that I locked my door and I actually forgot this one time and then someone breaks in? If I don't go back and check, the uncertainty is going to bother me for the rest of the day. And then I go back and check, and of course it's always locked, but like I said, better safe than sorry. I explained this habit of mine to my friend Adam, and he said that sometimes when he locks his door, he'll make a weird noise after because it's easier to remember the weird noise than to remember if you locked your door or not. So I've been trying to put that into practice more often. Ooga booga!
What the heck was that?
That was so I don't end up walking back to check if I remember to lock my door.
Do you have the memory of a goldfish?
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt it. Number 3, frequent bag checks. Similarly to the last one, I found that I have a nervous habit of periodically checking my bag throughout the day to make sure all my important items are still in their place, even if I hadn't taken anything out. And it's not even just when I'm out and about. Before I go to bed at night, I can't sleep until I've checked to make sure I know where my car keys, wallet, and phone are. Like, they're always in the same spot every time, and I know they are, but I have to see them and reassure myself before I can sleep peacefully. Kind of feels like I'm a baby with no sense of object permanence. I think I developed this habit because my parents would always be like, do you have all your things? Yeah, I already checked. Check again! So now I've noticed I do the same thing to my family and friends. It might seem really extra, but hey, thanks to this nervous habit, I never misplace my wallet, keys, or phone. Number 4, extra drinks. All right, here's a simple one. When I'm at a Starbucks or a cafe or a boba shop, I have a habit of ordering 2 drinks for myself because I usually end up getting stuck between 2, and instead of choosing one, I just end up getting both. Sometimes I want a fruity tea and a milk tea, or maybe an iced coffee, but also an iced tea. Why choose one when I can drink both? 2 drinks are just better than 1, except for the fact that I always end up peeing like 17 times afterwards, but I guess it's the price I pay for my greed. Number 5, is food a love language? I really like food, and I also really like sharing food. So I usually show my appreciation to people by buying them food. It's my way of saying, hey, let me express my friendship by treating you to this piece of happiness in the form of edible goods. Kind of like how your cat will bring you a freshly killed rat or a bird. Except, less gross. I feel like this is definitely something I got from my parents. For as long as I can remember, every time they visited family or friends, they'd always bring something to eat, like a box of fruit or bread from a bakery or sweets. It was always something edible. And of course, anyone with Korean parents knows the all out brawl that often happens when two people insist on paying the bill and will literally tackle each other for the right to out generous the other. And the thing is, it wasn't like my parents were super wealthy by any means. In fact, they were far from it. But to them, it was the proper and respectful thing to do. Having observed this behavior for years, I too have developed the habit of insisting on paying for the meal as a show of appreciation. And usually people are like, oh, sweet, thank you so much, because, free food. But every so often, I'll have a meal with someone who also has been trained for years in the art of fighting for the bill, and it becomes a ninja battle over who slaps their card on the check first. It gets really intense. Some of my friends have literally thrown my credit card to thwart my attempts to pay. It's like fighting, but in the most wholesome way. So these are some of my most interesting or strange habits. What's your most interesting habit, and how does it affect your day-to-day life? And also, please let me know if you can relate with me on any of these, because I know for a fact I'm not alone on most of these. So one bad habit that I have that I didn't mention in the video because it wasn't interesting enough is nail biting. It's just like another one of my many nervous habits, but I hate it. And actually recently I've tried to stop biting them, and this is the longest I've gone without biting my nails. So I guess this will be my New Year's resolution that I'm starting a few months early. So yeah, wish me luck. And I hope you guys have a really good Thanksgiving. I know I'm much more excited for Christmas and New Year's. So, gonna try to upload a bunch more things before the year ends.
Bro does not want to watch Naruto. Okay. Sorry, I was just talking to a friend, but yeah, it was just a mess. But I need to okay, you know what? I gotta fix my bed. Look. Right here, right now. But it's I watched it a month ago. I watched just the first episode of Sparks, but I need to catch all of them. No, that was 4 years ago. I lied. 2022 is one of my best years in 2022. 2023 is okay. The journey starts today. Whoa, Yeah, nope. I don't want to end up getting a copyright. Fuck you! I watched all of them. I watched. Fuck. I binged the whole of it. I binged the whole part 1 of Naruto until I watched Naruto Shippuden. I was currently watching Naruto Shippuden. That took me like 4+ years to finish this, or maybe 5, 6. I see. Okay. Alright. Oh my god, again? Here we go again. Horror movie ass math exams, bro. God damn. Unrelated to exams, but okay. Dude, just don't fucking block me. Okay.
Here, I'll give you a motive. Here, I'll give you a motive.
See, whatever. Alright. Listen. You're drinking expired choco milk. Oh. I still can't give you in a private chat. I still cannot give you in a live chat, sadly. I'm afraid raiders would come in. I don't want that to happen in the last previous episodes. Sorry. Which food place is this? Oh, bro. Don't want to talk about it. Alright, guys. Done with this damn game, y'all. Fuck ass, bro. Your mom is your mom is your mom is you're not tough. Get out. La, 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 la. Annoying. Annoying person in the background. Shut up. So I know. Probably. I know who that is. For the next 15 seconds. I vaguely remember, but it rings a bell. But I have a memory of a goldfish. I know who that is. $111. Ouch. Maths on a big Sunday. Also, do your best, lock in, gang. Ah, haha. Okay, so I'm going to play the Lazarus. I'm always gonna play Lazarus. Oh, yeah. Who the fuck is this dude with 3 dots, bro? I forgot who this person is. The Manzo Menzo person. Oh, I'm itchy. Why am I so itchy? Ah, fuck. Poison sea urchins, fuck. The new recent weapon. Oh, it happens. Please do not let this be higher rounds or something. Okay, I have to shut off Discord for a little bit because I do not want my shit. I do not want the game to lag. At the point right, not right now. At this point, not right now. But I'm going to log in. Finally. Okay, la 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 la. The Venga bus is coming. The Venga bus is coming. The Venga bus is coming. La 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 la. Okay, let's try that again. Double points!
Double points.
I was at the downtown. You were crying all of the time that you made. Oh. The night is young and it's getting late. It's the way that you play your specials and you don't play. So I dream of take you back to mine, kiss you back to mine. Boy, love. It sound gets into my mind. Sound boy love, you make my day every time. Sound boy love, your sound gets into my mind. Sound boy love, you make my day every time. The cool of the rhythm, the dance. The vibe was electric and it's what I came back for. The night is young and it's getting late. It's the way that you play your special and you don't play. Pull it up, check it out, come again, can you play some more? Sound boy love, your sound gets into my mind. Sound boy love, you make my day every time. Sound boy love, your sound gets into my mind. Sound boy love.
Alright. Alright, take two, because I died in 10 rounds. But I need to try again.
Double points!
Oh yeah, if I die in a certain round, then I'm gonna end the stream.
Double points! Double points.
Okay. Anybody who's next? Guys, anybody who's next? Who's literally next to die? Who's literally next to die? How am I supposed to find someone? How am I supposed to redeem this? How am I supposed to redeem this? Let's look. Look. This newer gun came out like... Okay, what does this say? Consecutive headshots increase headshot damage by 24% and hip fire accuracy. 14 times, reload two rounds at once. Let's see how it works. Ugh, okay. Okay, let's check out how much it... The fire rate! No! Somebody! Please? Ow! No! Anyone else? Ah! Anybody? Never mind. Guess I'll do it alone then. I don't have much time for a revival anyway. Carpenter. Very funny. Very funny for a freaking carpenter stuff. Yeah, no. Leave them alone. They will die anyway. Watch them spectate me. And, look at my fire rate go. Oh, no! Again with 10 rounds, bro. Look at my fire rate go. Oh, no! Alright. Alright, done with this damn game, y'all. Now it's 2 hours. I'm fucking bored. I want to watch commercials, but the problem, they will give me a copyright. Okay, no. I'm fucking bored. I want to watch transit stuff. Alright, I've already watched, Dashi's probably playtime a little bit. Okay. Alright, yeah, no. The line 5 of TTC. Don't worry, y'all. I'll be fine. I think 10 rounds is a bit enough. But I didn't make it to 30 rounds, sadly. Okay. I'm fine. Shit. Share this post until April 1st, 2026. I think we're referring to the Mario movie, Mario Galaxy movie, yeah. Ouch. Alright. Law firm ads. Alright, y'all, we're gonna go watch the last bits of the law firm advertisements and we're done. Requested by, I don't wanna, there's no request, but I feel like doing it. I feel like watching these commercials because I wanted to.
If you're injured in an auto accident during bad winter weather and the other driver is at fault, you may need a lawyer. I'm attorney Jim Sokoloff. For over 16 years, my business has been personal injury law. We've helped many auto accident victims get the money they deserve. So if you're injured in an auto accident this winter, call us. We'll fight hard to get you everything you're entitled to. It costs nothing to talk to us. If you've been injured on your job, you may need a lawyer, one who knows workers' comp and will fight hard to get you everything you're entitled to. I'm attorney Jim Sokoloff. My business is personal injury law. We've helped hundreds of people collect the money they deserve for job-related injuries. If you've been injured on the job, call this number. It costs nothing to talk to us.
Nursing home neglect and abuse. Nursing home neglect and abuse happens every day due to improper nursing home staffing and inadequate care. Bed sores, malnutrition, improper restraints, scalding, and even death may be signs of nursing home neglect and abuse. If you think that your loved one has been the victim of nursing home neglect and abuse, call the law offices of James Sokoloff at 1-800-513-1665.
Also, content warning mentions of these ones involving, yeah.
That's 1-800-513-1665.
Attention heart valve replacement patients. If you had your aortic or mitral heart valve surgically repaired or replaced and have taken the diet drug Pondamin, Redux, or Fen-Phen, you may be entitled to compensation. Again, if your aortic or mitral heart valve was repaired or replaced and you took Fen-Phen, call the law offices of James Sokoloff at 1-800-272-6263. That's 1-800-272-6263. A message from the law offices of James Sokoloff on mesothelioma. Mesothelioma is a rare, malignant type of cancer in the lungs, usually associated with exposure to asbestos. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call the law offices of James Sokoloff at 1-800-518-3656. 1-800-518-3656. 1-800-518-3656.
A message from the law offices of James Sokoloff on mesothelioma. Mesothelioma is a rare, malignant type of cancer in the lungs, usually associated with exposure to asbestos. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call the law offices of James Sokoloff now.
Call 800-492-4332. That's 800-492-4332.
Your life has been devastated by mesothelioma, the rare form of cancer caused by exposure to asbestos. You have legal rights that could result in a cash settlement worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. And it won't cost you a cent unless you win. Our affiliated law offices have won millions of dollars for victims of mesothelioma and their families. We know how to make companies pay for their mistakes. It's a fact. Companies whose employees have developed mesothelioma because of exposure to asbestos have paid hundreds of millions of dollars to the victims and the families of deceased victims. Know your rights. Get the money and the justice you deserve. And remember, you don't pay us anything until we get money for you. Get treated with respect and dignity. Get what the law entitles you to. Get the money and the justice you deserve.
Call 800-981-5896. That's 800-981-5896.
If you or a loved one was diagnosed with mesothelioma, call the number on your screen now. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer linked to asbestos exposure. Exposure to asbestos in mills, shipyards, or in the heating, automotive, and construction industry.
I need to watch Daphne Cortez. Wait a minute.
Hola, ich bin's, Angel von Before. Und mein Lieblingslied von unserem ersten Album All for One ist der Song All for One.
This one from the commercial break.
Unser Family Gang.
Wir leiten hier, weil unser Berg wegen Newtown abgetragen wird.
Mit Magie.
Sieh mich an!
Und einem dämonischen Geisterumzug sollen die Menschen zur Einsicht bewegt werden. Zum ersten Mal im deutschen Fernsehen. Pompoko. Am nächsten Freitag um 20.15 Uhr.
Prima, dann holen wir doch jetzt mal die Zeitung. Das war wohl zu einfach. Dann bring mir mal 2 Gläser Milch. Leckermäulchen!
Da steckt in jedem Becher mehr als die doppelte Menge frischer Milch. Eine richtig gute Milchquarkmahlzeit. So locker, so lecker.
Leckermäulchen gut, Leckermäulchen gut.
Sieht man dich nicht in Schnee und Eis, liegt das am neuen Propperweiß.
Jetzt neu für schneeweiße Wäsche. Das flüssige Meister Propper Polarfrische. Sechs E-Dogs machen eine Riesenfete bei McDonald's. Ein verrockter Hund, jetzt im Happy Meal.
Ich liebe es.
Gestern Nacht hatte dein Bauch viel zu tun. Während deiner Verdauung schrumpfte er bis zu 3 Zentimeter. Da entstehen Lücken, die zum Auslaufen führen können. Doch du hast fest geschlafen, dank den neuen Pampers Baby Dry mit Raupiflex. Ganz elastisch zieht sie sich wieder zusammen für unschlagbaren Auslaufschutz. Jetzt neu, Pampers Baby Dry mit Raupiflex.
Hallo, ich bin's, die WC-Ente. Ich garantiere euch hygienische Sauberkeit, wo andere WC-Reiniger nicht hinkommen. Mit meinem einzigartigen Entenhals sorge ich für Hygiene bis unter den Rand. WC-Ente. Ente gut, alles gut.
Guck mal, da knickt Franz Müller, Bauer. Der Joghurt mit der Ecke. Und welchen knickst du? Alles Müller oder was?
Deutschland probiert was Neues. Markenqualität direkt von Rewe.
Oh yeah, Ray wants the link. Fam, I literally just lost track. Yo, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to watching storytime videos again. It's been a lost track.
I've always been the shy, socially awkward kid that didn't ever fit in anywhere. My teachers would constantly say, okay, she's definitely autistic. You gotta take care of that so that she's able to integrate and make some friends. It's just her personality. Just give her a notebook and she'll be just fine. Until they did. I was an undiagnosed autistic child with a notebook that I would posts inside it to turn into my personal diary. It was very fun. I got to doodle about everything that happened to me. It wouldn't take time for the people that usually picked on me to nab my diary and look through all the pages while I helplessly watched. Well, they made fun of me for it. They were also very intrigued by how I depicted them. As it turns out, everyone just really loves being drawn and being part of a story. My story. Word got out and suddenly everyone wanted a peek at my diary. Some were nicer than others. Some just straight up stole it from me and chucked it on top of a tree I couldn't reach after they were done with it. Since my stories were updated daily, everyone would be thrilled to read the next chapter of my story every day. My diary somehow became entertainment for everyone in my school. And it started to have actual effects on my daily life. One of my first chapters was me venting about how one of my bullies had stolen some of my colored pencils. And now that it had become widespread knowledge, some really nice classmates and teachers took action and made my bully return all my colored pencils. Unbeknownst to me,
Got disconnected again. Hello, Ray. Yeah. Hello? 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 What the fuck? Ah! I swear to God, bro. Girl. Why son out? No! Fuck you. Okay. Okay, back to Sleep Pal. Okay, gang, go back to I'll go back to watching Storytime.
I was just given a very powerful item. Anything I would write could technically become reality. Surely I would use this power for good, right? For justice, right? I would be responsible with it, right? Okay, let me explain. This is what I call a power environment chart, also known as autism.
Hello? Wake your ass up. Hey! Wake up! Answer! What? Stop playing that. Stop playing with that fuck ass song, bro. I'm continuing watching Storytime.
This year's town, which begins her day in this default line. Whenever she comes to school, She expects every single of her 20 classmates and 4 teachers to begin the day in the default line as well. In the span of the next 8 hours, things should go exactly as planned. Everything is fine, everyone is happy, or everyone is human, and their emotions and actions are very unpredictable, leading to some going up above the line or far below the line. However, it's not like this. I want everyone to be in this default line so that the day can be as normal and happy as possible. And when something goes slightly differently, she will notice, and suddenly, not only has the trajectory of the whole day pivoted, she now feels responsible, and it's her task to make sure everyone is happy and back in the line by the end of the day. Now I have control of the line. I was given control over the uncontrollable feelings of imbalance I felt every day, because if someone was having a gloomy day, I could just rewrite it, and everyone would be happy. I have to say, I'm not proud of some of what I do here. I think some people smarter than me actually realized the implications of my diary, because during recess, they asked me if I could write about them or someone else's certain way, for a reward, of course. Alright, what will it be? Listen, back then I thought I was truly making everyone happy through this. So, as long as I was making you happy, sure, I'll do anything for you. People would read my diary like a newspaper. Sometimes I wouldn't even know when it left my bag, but I would occasionally see it circle around the classrooms during the day, and it always made its way back to me before the last bell rang. Here are some notable entries which may or may not have had drastic consequences. I overheard a girl saying that she might dump Derek. Derek is nice. Let's go easy on him. He might cry and I don't want that. The teacher was furious at us today, so much so that she turned off the lights and made us sit in silence for an hour. I liked it. Derek, if you're reading this, let's spill Miss Abigail's coffee again. I love Miss Abigail, but maybe next time we can go a whole day in silence. It seems like all the girls have crushes in him. He's like the most popular guy. Derek got a warning for calling JJ a gay. Please do not call him that. It makes everyone cry. Emil got another girlfriend today. It was like their third one. Emil stole my custody yesterday. So I decided to let you know that he's been paying me to say that he's cool and that a lot of girls have crushes on him. This is not true. I want my custody, yes, I'm hungry. Also, he kicked my desk to the other side of the room, threw my backpack all the way to the rooftop, scribbled on my belongings, and wrote some profane words. Turned to page 37 for evidence. Threw a ball at my face and broke my glasses during PE. Locked me in the infirmary after I went with a bloody nose and the nurse was in there. Leaving me with nothing to cover my nose with and called me a stick at least 8 times this week. Oh gosh, I probably started so many drama and I wasn't even aware. Actually, sometimes I was. I do remember feeling a huge guilt inside of me, but no one was stopping me. With a pen, my school could be anything I wanted it to be. For once, I had everything I ever wanted. Gosh, I sound like a villain. The whole idea of me using an evil diary to manipulate how others felt and acted feels so wrong. There were some times where I wrote things for myself, hoping someone would notice them. Specifically, poems that my family called a few times because, oh gosh, did I write some dark things for an 8-year-old. The moment I found my old diary years after everything unfolded, I immediately tossed it away because I'm pretty sure that thing is haunted by some sort of evil spirit of my own creation. I don't want that in my closet. I was like an anti-villain that was too oblivious to realize that in making everyone happy, she was doing some really messed up things. Growing up, I realized that I wasn't able for being different on how I perceived my environment. I was just autistic, and years of being undiagnosed and unsupported really made sure I hated myself for it. Sadly, not everyone understands this, and I'm so lucky to have the most understanding people by my side now. Thanks for being patient with me. I hope you're able to see that over the years, I've got a better expressing myself and being an even better version of myself. I like to think that I'm improving. Thanks for watching, Sleepyheads. And as always, take care, stay cozy, and good nighty.
Hello?
Yo. Gang, buddy. You know what? You know what Ray did? She played the Boy Kisser song out of nowhere. When I was literally in the middle of watching
course.
Silly Paul.
Of course, that's your typical Ray.
The typical Ray she is. I don't know. No. Oh well. Anyways, all right. Back to watching storytime videos. Oh well.
One of the biggest challenges I face while making these videos is that as I write them, I'm also in the process of healing and unpacking how each topic has affected me personally. I usually keep my struggles tucked far away in the back of my mind, but putting my silly little brain out there for the world to see has turned out to be one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. It helps me and it helps others too. And that's without mentioning my therapist watches all of these. Hi Rosie, in doing this, I've learned so much about myself. It's like looking through a window at past versions of me and letting myself heal. In one recent video, I talked about how as a kid I saw life through a chart. Everyone had a place and I liked it best when they all stayed close to the middle line. Balance and predictability were the foundation of my peace of mind. Turns out that's something called autism. And after finishing that video, it hit me. That chart never left. And it explains a part of why it was so easy for me to disappear from the world and turn into a shut-in. As I got older, the chart expanded faster than I could keep up. People moved farther from that center line, and everything I do turned into something else. All of it felt foreign and overwhelming, so I pulled myself out of it. Without realizing it, I became a self-isolated loner. I clung to any excuse to stay home, and my room became my only safe place. By the time the lockdown hit, I was already hiding from the world. But even then, I still had goals. I was determined to take every test I could to get into a school in the American South. I wanted to become a teacher with 4 pet rats and the ability to afford all the medical care I needed. That dream was cemented when I met my older sister Alice. Whatever path I took, I wanted it to be alongside theirs. But then something happened that shattered what was left of my sense of safety. One afternoon, I was riding an empty bus back home. It was just me and the driver until a man got on. Even though there were plenty of seats, he stood right beside me. Minutes passed and he never moved. I felt his breath and I couldn't understand why he was still there so close. And then it happened again and again and again. My brain shut off. I couldn't process it. I kept thinking, this isn't real. This can't be happening. But it was. I was busted. When I got home, I heard people say things like, welcome to womanhood, or that's just how it is here, as if this was some kind of rite of passage. That's when I truly realized there is no safe place for me. I don't belong here. Maybe I don't belong anywhere. That was the moment I gave into the depression I'd always carried. I sealed myself in my room. I moved everything within arm's reach of my bed. I stopped eating. I stopped leaving. My only comfort was the soft glow of my computer screen. Of course, it wasn't just this one event that made me a shut-in. It was everything. I had already dropped out of school. My agoraphobia worsened. Years passed, and I only got sicker physically and mentally. Going into the gritty details would be too much, but at my worst, I was the textbook definition of a shut-in. I didn't care for myself. I was terrified of everything. Time stopped making sense, so I couldn't tell if it was day or night. All I saw was Discord status icons, and I was convinced that my room would be my tomb. Nobody was coming to save me. Still, deep down, I held on to something. I kept studying, researching, doing whatever I could. Even if I couldn't step outside, even if I was scared of everything, even if I felt broken. But then I had to face reality. I'm just a disabled trans girl from Mexico who dreams of immigrating to America on her own. And lately, that dream feels more impossible than ever. In my video about agoraphobia, I mentioned that I got so sick that I started experiencing daily psychosis. And at one of my lowest points, I decided I didn't want to feel anymore. I ended up in the hospital, then came recovery, then I came back here. Recovery meant making changes. I wasn't allowed to live in trash piles or sit in total darkness anymore. I had to eat during the day and sleep at night. After what happened, the people around me changed too. Some told me they wished they'd been there for me. And for the first time in a long time, I got a lot of closure. My loved ones, especially my big sister, gave me the support I needed to start healing. One step at a time, they gave me my life back. Today, I still hold on to the same dream, though with smaller hopes and simpler expectations. For now, I focus on myself. I water my little indoor brain plant and once in a while try to let some light in. Thanks for watching, Sleepyheads. I know this video has a sadder tone, but I hope it helped you understand what it's like inside the mind of someone like me, a shut-in. This is my biggest trouble, and I'll keep fighting through it as long as I need to. As always, take care, stay cozy, and good nighty.
Let's go with the last joints, and I'm done. All right, let's go.
The holiday season, that time of the
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go. Go with the last video, and I'm done.
magic, joy, and seasonal depression. It's that time of year when everyone tries their best to feel something good, but sometimes joy is hard to find, especially when you don't exactly fit into the norm. If you're in in this video, I'll be sharing 3 short stories that are very close to my heart. I love loving fictional characters. It's a pastime I enjoy basically any time of day when a character hits so close to home that they basically move into your brain. These characters mean everything to me, and there's a reason why. They're mirrors, little sparks of hope that help me make sense of feelings I didn't even have words for. And I want to talk about 3 of them. 3 who helped me understand myself in ways I never thought possible.
See, now I want to go with Sayuri. I feel bad for her. She's the kawaii next door.
Every time I fake a smile and say I'm fine, it's pointed out to me that Sayuri is a part of my core being. Sayuri just hangs out with all my emotions. Sayuri starts out as a bubbly, supportive childhood friend. The girl who's always clumsy, cheerful, and putting everyone else first. She's sunshine in a skirt until she's not. Sayuri lives with depression, the kind that hides in plain sight, the cruel, invisible kind, the kind that tells you you're a burden, even when you're loved, the kind that convinces you that other people's happiness is worth more than your own, the kind where smiling becomes a form of self-defense. I often struggle with thoughts that go against everything I think I am. Thoughts that make me question my worth, my goodness, and my place in the world. And for a long time, I believe that just having those thoughts made me a bad, selfish person. Sayuri taught me that those thoughts don't make me broken or evil. That feeling things you don't want to feel or that seem bad in nature is part of being human. Feeling things is so confusing and scary, but in my heart, I realized if someone as thoughtful and kind as Sayuri could feel this way, maybe I could still be lovable too.
You know what, Maya? You're alright. You're okay. You're okay.
Maya Faye is a special case to me. Haha, get it? Maya is introduced as this quirky, snack-obsessed spirit medium in training who becomes her assistant after her sister is murdered. At first glance, she's the energetic sidekick, always teasing you and lightening the darkest courtroom moments with some over-the-top reaction. She's the total goofball, but as you play through the games, you get the sense that Maya silently blames herself for things that aren't her fault, takes on too much, and yet still chooses to smile through it all. Even when she's hurt, used, or pushed aside, she forgives, she loves, and she believes in finding joy, even if it's just in a burger at the end of a bad day. She's never reduced into a tragic character. Maya showed me that you can be in pain and still light up a room. Even if you feel inferior to those around you, you have a place in the world, and you deserve it. Survival doesn't always look like fighting. It can look like laughing through tears, staying loyal to people who matter, like choosing to be kind, even when life isn't.
Futaba is adorable, but more in a puppy kind of way.
A lot of people compare me to Futaba, and honestly, yeah, she's the one I relate to most. Maybe a little too much. Futaba Sakura is a character from Persona 5. She's a gremlin. She's a gremlin. She's a gremlin hacker who supports the Phantom Thieves remotely through her UFO-shaped persona. She guides them through palaces, twisted mental worlds born from corrupted desires to help change the heart of their targets. Futaba became a shut-in after her mother's death, manipulated into thinking it was her fault. Isolated in her room, the internet became her refuge and place to shine. She suffered severe agoraphobia, haunted by hallucinations and the fear of dying alone, unloved, and forgotten. I've been there. This part of her story is mine too. Before joining the Phantom Thieves, Futaba had a palace of her own, born from deep trauma and self-hate. Her shadow claimed she was beyond saving, but deep down, it longed for a change of heart. That wish came true when the Phantom Thieves entered her palace and Futaba found the strength to face her fears. Over her 10 Confident Link events, you help Futaba gradually face her fears. In the first, she has a panic attack at a store and is nearly taken by a cop until a player steps in, claiming she's family and just socially anxious. Wonder if that's never happened to me before. Just like Futaba finds her key item in you, I found mine in my big sister Alice. They took me to diners, stores, places I thought I lost forever, helping me step back into the world. In Futaba's final confident rank, she thanked you for giving her life back. And I can say the same thing too. Futaba taught me how to love myself, that I can face the world and say, I will live, and that I deserve to. So every time someone tells me I look, act like, or remind them of Futaba, it makes me really happy because it feels like I'm on the right path. I want to be as cool as her, and that's why these characters mean everything to me. Unrelated, I want to show my plushies. I love them. And here's my Nunneries collection. Thanks for watching, Sleepyheads. I could honestly make a whole video for each of the characters I love, but for now, I just wanted to share these. Take care, stay cozy, and good nighty.
I'm gonna go for the night, and I'm gonna end it off here. So, thank you guys for coming in to the next stream. Consider subscribing for more. I don't. Shit. So as I was saying, if you guys enjoyed the episode, consider subscribing for more. And yeah, it was just mostly about storytime videos and other stuff. If you want me to watch more storytime videos, then that's all I could say. I'll plan to watch more storytime videos often on my streams, but this might be my last. I don't know. Anyways, see you in the next episode. That's
Don't
okay.
forget-
You just got here a little. It's okay. You just got here a little bit, but I was just watching storytime videos, and Ray Ray was there a little bit, like 20 minutes ago. And finally I was just walking into Lazarus. I was supposed to do it for like 30-ish rounds, and I was gonna do it for 20 rounds. But right now I am tired for the night. I'm gonna go and talk to a friend that she is really important to me. And I will see you guys in the next episode when I'm feeling better.
And don't forget, take care of yourself. Don't forget,
Yeah, you
take care of
too.
yourself.
Yeah.
Get your pets spayed and
Okay, see you in the
neutered.
next